So it's back. It's back from its service. I've only watched since 2013, so it's almost 8 years since I've had it. And one of the things that really drove me to buy expensive watches, or help with that decision, not so much drove me to buy, but help with the decision, was that when the watches do eventually go for a service, they come back looking 90% new. And this is kind of my first opportunity to see with Omega how close that is. I've done it a couple of times with my Longines and it looked great, but it was far more damage than this, to be fair. But it's the first time doing it with Omega to see what that looks like, and I'm blown away. It is absolutely incredible. I do have another video just reviewing this watch, and at the end of that I talk about the fact it's going to be going off for its first service. So I'll go over the watch, go over the cost of the service, and then what they've done. But yeah, since it went Goldsmiths to Omega, personally I just prefer to use the actual manufacturer. I know people go to independents and they're probably just as good, but just for my peace of mind, and just, yeah, I just prefer using the manufacturer, just like when I have cars that I look after. I prefer to go to the actual dealership as opposed to independents. So the things that were really wrong with the watch, timing wise, it was still spot on. It was still running at about -1 second a day. So from a timing perspective, no issues with it at all. It was still fantastic, and that was what, 8 years on. So yeah, that was not the reason for sending it off. The reason for sending it off was just to tighten it up a little bit, because it had seen better days. So as you can imagine, with the polished elements, especially the bezel, it picked up lots and lots of hairlines that were very, very visible. You can't help it. Even just a jumper going over the top and off the watch or a coat, it's going to pick up hairlines. And after 8 years, you can imagine there's quite a few. So that has polished up unbelievably well. And then a little bit of dust up there. But the biggest surprise to me was, I think I mentioned in my previous video, my wife threw my old iPhone to me, not at me, or maybe it was at me, but whatever. it was to me. And the metal case landed right between there, and it left a huge scratch. So when it went off for service, I was expecting a phone call to say I needed a new bezel at a cost of X. But they polished it out. I don't think it's going to show on camera, but there is oh, there it is. That tiny blemish right there. You can just see it near the 4 o'clock marker. Just there. That was a scratch I could dig my fingernail into. And you have to have the watch at exactly the right angle to notice that tiny blemish now. So it looks absolutely incredible. I'm really, really, really impressed with how that's come up. I also did some other stupid things where I attempted to polish out some of the damage on here using Cape Cod cloth, and as a result, this brushed element on top of the lugs, it kind of had a bit of a sheen to it, and they've rebrushed that, so it looks brilliant. I did that on a few of the lugs, so really, really pleased with that. I also, like a moron, decided to experiment on the bracelet using red 3M Scotch Brite, and as you can imagine, I'm not, obviously not a professional, not even close, so you kind of, when you looked in the sunlight or like this, you'd have little scratches kind of going that way, and even if you just go 1, 2 and repeat that motion, you just don't get the same effect, because the Scotch Brite has got lots of different directions of the material in it. You just don't get this lovely straight brushed effect that Omega and all the other watch companies obviously can do. So having that rebrushed is just brilliant. It looks absolutely superb. Honestly, I'd say it's 98% brand new. The way it's come out, it's absolutely fantastic. Really, really pleased. They've obviously polished, you can see my fingerprints now, but they polished the sides, which again, obviously, as you can imagine, get damage. And I had some scratches on the side of the watch, on the case side as well, which have come out where they've rebrushed it. I'm just trying to think. I had a few nicks on the case actually. Where are the nicks? I didn't even realise that until just now. I did have a couple of kind of, oh, was that one there? Is that one there? Sorry, I didn't mean to do this live, as it were. I was, oh, there you go. So there's a very tiny, that was a far, far bigger nick. You can just see it just there. I can't pick it up with my finger. So there were a few nicks on the edge of the case as well, obviously, from wearing it on the sharper lines. And the lines are still really sharp, actually. It is impressive. So the nicks have all gone apart from that one as well. It's just an incredible job. The back, again, as you can imagine, can I get the camera to do this? There you go. So this polished element here gets very, very scratched as well. I don't quite know why, because it just sits on your wrist. Maybe it's when I'm cleaning it. But that has come back. I'm not doing a very good job here, sorry. And it, again, looks brand new. It's incredible. Even if they've done the inside as well with the bracelet. Just want to focus on the right things. Is that? That's what you get for using an iPhone. Oh, there you go. You can see some stuff on the inside. So kind of what I'd expect on the inside of it. But that's just from where the clasp sits. So it looks like they've actually done some work on the inside of the links as well. Yeah, really, really chuffed to bits with it. One of the other things they've done, I'll just show you in a minute, is they have actually, they give you back the parts that they've replaced. So they replaced the crown and the crown sleeve. And it's definitely not my imagination. It is so much smoother. And just smoother. There was a lot more resistance when I was winding it previously. Using the crown is just that little bit. No, it's a lot smoother. It's considerably smoother than it was. But then if it's 8 years old and it's been utilised quite a lot, that makes sense. I wonder if that's just a standard thing that they change. And using the crown is just a lot nicer than it was before. It was always nice anyway, but it's just a lot, the clicks are a lot more positive. And winding it and using it is just a lot smoother than it was previously. See the little ticks? Ah, oh, so good. And then to push it in, you just do that. There you go. So you get that and then wind it up. Screw it in even. So absolutely chuffed to bits with that. I was expecting it to be good when it came back. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. I wasn't expecting the crown to be that much nicer and softer to wind. And yeah, I just wasn't expecting it. I was expecting a new bezel as a cost. So absolutely chuffed to bits with that. For those who don't know, these are the bits that you get back. So they obviously changed 2 spring bars. These are all the gaskets where they've obviously redone the test to make sure it's waterproof, or water resistance, sorry. Then you can see the original crown sleeve. So they're the bits I got back. And then you get a reasonable pleather. I can't believe that's leather, it's some kind of pleather, but a nice little case. That is a nice watch carrying case. I will actually make use out of this. It's nicer than the Rolex stroke Tudor ones that you get, which I happen to have here from my Tudor going away. So it has a little pouch, then you put the watch around that to stop it getting damaged. But as you can see, it's just, you know, it's just a kind of felt material, whereas this is nice and sturdy, especially when it's zipped up. And then the watch sits in here. And this was quite cool. I didn't realise you got this. You get a little service. Oh, right, 24 months warranty. Didn't know that either. Learning everything doing this video apparently, because I didn't pay enough attention before doing it. So you get a nice little service card. That will obviously go with the watch. And these are the kind of reasons that I like staying with the manufacturer. If I ever do decide to sell the watch, which I won't, this is a special watch for me. But you've got the history of the watch, and yeah, you get another warranty, which I didn't actually realise, and 24 months too, which is good. Very happy with that. So how much did it cost me? It ended up costing me, where is the final bill? £445, but I did put down £40 initial deposit. So £485, which I'm under no illusion is expensive. I appreciate that. You can actually buy watches for that amount of money. But the way I view it, £485 after, what, 8 years? And to have it looking effectively brand new, absolutely no complaints from me. So yeah, if you want to look at the previous video, and I talked about there just why I bought the watch and kind of what it means to me, and I went over the damage, feel free to do so. But yeah, I thought it was worth just documenting what it comes back like from a service from Omega, and blown away with it. Really, really impressed. Okay, cheers everyone.